Check, 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 everybody. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Mama Kecia, if you can hear me. Okay, great. Hey, we're about to get started with our Educator Spotlight series. This is year 4 for Please Educate All Children Equally. And, here's the screen right here featuring our guest for this evening. So we're going to get it started.
All right.
All right, let me go here. And, hey, welcome everybody out there, first of all, in Facebook land and Zoom land and wherever you may be, YouTube land. My name is Brother Warren, and representing for peace, please educate all children equally. And this year, I'm kicking off the year with something special. Took a little break during football season, do a little bit of training and traveling and things of that nature, whatnot. But coming back in January, ablazing. Coming back ablazing. And the person we have this evening is awesome and amazing. Actually, it's because of football season. I was like, whoa, I definitely have to get her on after football season. So let me get started. We have Kecia McAlpine. McAlpine.
McAlpine.
McAlpine. There we go. I'm trying to make sure I get it right.
Close
So
enough, close enough.
there we go. There, McAlpine. So here we go. Kecia is a veteran teacher with experience in various aspects under the language arts umbrella. Before teaching for Alabaster City Schools, she worked at high school level in sunny South Florida for over 20 years. She has taught grades 9 through 12, honors, general education, and advanced placement. She also had the pleasure of teaching drama, journalism, SAT prep, and leadership while in Florida. She served as a mentor for the Broward County Schools in Florida, beginning teachers program, and coached varsity flag football for 5 years. That's awesome. We can talk about that too. She also taught adult education as well while in South Florida to immigrants seeking language acquisition. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. She returned to her home state of Alabama in 2017 and landed in Alabaster City Schools. She teaches 7th grade language arts and manages the school's social media page. She's also worked with the University of Montevelo's Upward Bound and Gear Up programs for the past 5 years as an academic tutor. Now, the thing that made me say I got to get her on, she's also employed by Thompson High School's athletic department as a videographer for the football team. Mind you, a 7A state football champion for the past 4 years consecutively. Everybody, we have Mama Kecia. How you doing, Mama Kecia? How you doing today?
Hey, Damon, I am doing amazing. Oh my God, you made me sound so important.
Yes, you are important. Listen,
So
you are
I
very
just want
important.
to say thank you for that amazing introduction. I mean, something's coming up the pipeline. I'm gonna need you to be there and you can just do that again.
Hey, there we go. I got you. Not a problem. Not a problem. I got you. So let's talk a little bit. So I kind of know where you're from, but the people out there in the listening audience, they want to know about you as well. So where are you from exactly? Much as you can
I
say.
am absolutely. I am from the great state of Alabama, sweet home Alabama. No matter where you're from, people will sing that song. We already know
Mm,
that.
okay.
I grew up here, a product of Birmingham City Schools, Kingston Elementary School, Woodlawn Magnet High School. Go Colonels, if you're looking.
Okay.
And then I attended Talladega College, which is also in Alabama, the best HBCU, the Alpha Lara Vega of them all. That's what we do at Talladega. Deegans are everywhere. Got to shout out my line sisters because I know they're on here looking. Chi Chapter, Fall 91, 30 Eminent Emeralds, aka 30 Deep in Pink. Y'all know what's up. And I just want to grew up here after college. I had received a fellowship to the University of Akron, which I was headed to Ohio. And
Really?
then, yeah, I was headed to Ohio, and then South Florida called. Got hired over the phone, sight unseen, and ended up going to South Florida, where I ended up staying for 24 years as an educator. Best decision I ever made, no regrets. I try to live life without them. The
Mhm.
decisions you make, that's just a part of the divine plan. So I took like LeBron, I took my talents to South Beach
There you go. There you go.
and stayed down there for 24 years as an educator. Most recently, returned or 2017 returned to Alabama. Just family. It was just like woke up one day. I have one son who is a sophomore at Morehouse College. And he was in seventh grade or getting ready to go to eighth grade. And he was just like, I want to be a little bit closer to grandma and everybody. And I was like, you know what? Say less. We packed up and we came back home. And I've been here ever since. I have zero regrets about my return. I will say I'm a Cancer, so I'm a water child. So I miss
Okay.
my ocean. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie.
Okay.
Being landlocked is tough, but that's what planes are for.
Okay.
So
Absolutely.
that's what planes are for. So just happy to be back, like I said, near family and friends, and just getting reacquainted with people who have been in my life, for the early session. So hopefully they still like me, after I kind of got, the growing aspect happened in South Florida, and that's a whole different beast. But I'm happy for every experience, happy to be home. And if I wasn't home, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you today. So look at the blessing.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go. So,
absolutely.
so listen, Broward County. When I think about Broward County, I think I played with some guys in college, and whatnot, all from down that way. And is that close to Miami? I mean, help me out. I don't know.
Listen, it is just one little beautiful circle or one straight line.
Okay. Okay.
You have West Palm Beach, then you have Fort Lauderdale, and then you have Miami. So that's how
Okay.
it goes.
Got you.
So 561-954-3005. That's how.
Okay. 305 is what I know.
Right, that's how it goes. So,
Okay.
they're so close, and just depending on where you live in Broward County or in Dade County,
Mm,
sometimes it's just literally, a mile away. You're from Broward County to Dade County because everything is pretty close. And I definitely live most of my time there on the southern end of Broward County, so very
okay.
close to Miami. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Mhm.
So, getting into education, talk about, maybe your favorite educator growing up. Is there someone that kind of inspired you that you wanted to emulate, or just talk about that for a second?
I will honestly say, I think I was always a little bossy, probably. I may have had a little takeover spirit as a child. So
Okay.
I would always, if somebody needed some help, I would always be I didn't mind helping. I
Mm,
remember just like even in high school, like if somebody, didn't do their homework or what have you, I'm like, you need some help? Or they're like, Kecia, I know Kecia did her homework. So I'm like, yeah, because y'all know my mama crazy. So yes, my homework is done. But I would never have a problem like helping or assisting somebody with homework. And I will say, there's a couple of educators, but one in particular, his name is Mr. Theron Woods. He was my senior English teacher.
mm,
And I will say for me, I think the light came on as far as my love for literature in his classroom. My love for wanting to know more about Shakespeare, it came
mm.
from his classroom. He
Okay.
was innovative, he was immersive, he would just have the students, you would on his every word, you would hang on his every word because he was such an amazing teacher. And he was an amazing disciplinarian. I mean, I went to school definitely in a urban landscape.
Okay.
But oh yeah, but Mr. Woods did not play. Everybody,
Hmm.
Mr. Woods didn't play. It wasn't even an issue. You came in his room, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna do what you need to do, and you're gonna listen to Mr. Woods. And his instruction, I will say, I just remember him just acting out different things in class and reading Macbeth, and he was so passionate about it. And for me, that was kind of where my love. I'd always loved to read because my mom read all the time. I would always see my mother reading books when I grew up. So I always loved to read, but he truly definitely opened that door to different types of literature.
Okay.
So that was kind of where the love started, thus sending me to Talladega College and majoring, of course, in English, English literature and journalism. I a one of my professors, we recently lost her actually this fall,
Okay.
Dr. Trelly Jeffers. She definitely had a huge impact on me wanting to pursue a career in education. She was a phenomenal professor, and I just learned so much in her class. And she was a Spelmanite, and she had this beautiful Southern accent. It was so heavy and,
Mhm.
just would hang on her words. And I just learned so much about literature, about life, about being a woman. And her door was always open. If you needed something, you can go in and talk to Dr. Jeffers. So she is a treasure. She is an absolute treasure, and she will be sorely missed. But that definitely spawned my interest in definitely wanting to go down this road.
Okay. So just to extend that just a little bit, what
Mhm.
is your why? Like ultimately, what is your, like you said, 31 years, I have like 32.
Ooh,
So we're there, we're in the trenches, right? So,
right.
I know we don't look like it, people. I get that. We don't look like it, you know what I mean? But we've been around for a couple of years, just a couple of years. But what is your why for doing it as long as you've done it, the places you've done it, still staying in it and so on and so forth. What's your why?
I think my why is the relationships that I have formed.
Mm,
And you don't realize how special they are until later.
right.
I'm talking to you right now, and yesterday, one of my former students, and I'm going to say probably 20 years ago, easily, she sent me a message. And it was just the sweetest message. She was at a conference and she was sitting there next to actually one of my sorority sisters. And she took a picture with her and she said, "Do you know this lady?" And I said, "Oh my God, she's an angel, tell her I said hello or what have you." And she said, "When I get on the national level for my company," she said, "you will be the first person that I invite
Mm,
because I want to say thank you."
wow.
And I was like sitting here looking at the message and I'm like, okay, I'm about to start ugly crying.
Mm,
And that alone, that it just makes a difference. I mean, knowing that you impacted somebody's life in some way that they still remember you,
mhm,
that's everything. And I know that I have so many students. I have more children. I have one child that I gave birth to, but I have many children who call me mom, who call me Mama Mac, who send me messages asking for advice. I congratulate them. I cheer them on. I have been to bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, weddings, and engagements, you name it, because of those relationships. And for me, there's just nothing more special than just knowing that you may have made a slight difference, just a slight difference, something you said, something you did, something you recognized. I remember a gentleman, he's in New York now and he's writing and doing amazing things on Broadway.
mm,
And he sent me a message, like I said, not long ago, just random message. And he said, "I'll never forget you complimenting a shirt I had on." And you said, like, "You look so nice. And that is such a lovely shirt. And that color looks so great on you. And like, you should wear that all the time because that looks good." And he was like, "You don't know how you impacted me because I was having the
mm,
worst day of my life." And he said, "You saying that kind of saved my life." So those stories that you get later, and
yeah,
31 years in, I have thousands, of
right.
the people who pass by. And let me just say, not perfect, because I'm sure somebody probably like, "Oh Lord, that woman was no joke." Like she was tough. But at the same time, I just wanted to make sure that they were in an environment where they felt safe
Hmm.
and that you're gonna learn, whether you want to or not, but you're gonna learn something. You're gonna leave here. If you don't leave here better, if you don't leave here more determined, if you don't leave here more organized, whatever little thing it is, if you don't leave my room with that, then I fail.
Hmm.
So having these adults now who are parents and husbands and wives sending me these messages today, 2024, still getting messages, and I started teaching in 1993. That's the blessing. That's the
Right,
why.
right.
That's the why, you
Yeah,
know? And
yeah.
I have middle schoolers now, and I know they don't get it at all.
Shout
But
out to
they,
shout out to anybody working in look, and I'm extending my career in another state right now. I'm doing a little bit of work with middle schoolers. And look, shout out to anybody who's dealing with middle schoolers, because I'm always dealing with high schoolers. But the middle schoolers, yeah, they keep
they're
you young.
different.
They
They're
different.
different.
They're different.
But I will say, even them, sometimes you don't matter. You don't know, I had been here, like I said, last year ended the 6th year. So I came in with those children who were seventh graders.
Okay.
So they graduated,
Hmm.
and the number of parties I got invited to that they didn't forget me or sent me their senior pictures. That meant a lot because it was my first year here, in
Hmm.
2017. So I didn't know how I impacted them. But the
Mm.
fact that when they were seniors, thank you so much. I didn't realize why you were making me organize my binder,
Right, right.
and driving us crazy about that. But now I realize why you did that. And now I'm going on to the university or what have you on this scholarship.
Mm.
So to see, like I said, that's the why is that when you make that difference, that little difference, something you did, and then they come back and you get the opportunity for them to tell you that is priceless.
Yeah,
It's priceless.
yeah.
Full circle moment.
Yeah, I say to people all the time in this business, in this work that we do, it's not just a job, it's a calling, it's a mission, it's a passion, right? And the most important thing of it all is the relationships because
Oh, yeah.
you just don't teach content, right? You teach people through your content. And in doing so, you also develop those relationships. I've had an opportunity to hire a lot of people throughout the years, whether it be through football coaches or whether it be
Right.
as educators in my schools. I used to be a principal at a particular place in Philadelphia and hired several people on my staff. There were guys that I coached and taught and so on and so forth and whatnot. And that's because of those relationships. And I knew they would run through that wall as a player. So then they became to run through that wall to make sure they kept the school safe and so on and so forth. So
Right.
shout out to relationships. That's the most important thing right
Amen.
there.
Amen. That is so
Yeah.
true. Their relationships are everything. And that's something you have to value. You know what I mean? Like you don't sometimes I guess as we reflect, as we're more seasoned, because we're not old, we're just a little seasoned.
A little seasoning.
You start to just reflect on
Mhm.
those relationships that matter and that are important. And it's important that you nurture those relationships. And I
Yeah.
mean, as I look at this time, I look at just we're at an age where a lot of that season where parents are passing on, and loved ones and things of that nature. So it is so important that you tell people you love them, you send them a message when you're thinking about them,
Yeah.
and you don't waste time. You don't waste time because you
Right.
don't have a lot.
No.
And when you break it down, like I said, never not to be morbid because I try not to, but when you think about it, you like, how many summers do I have? How many
Mm.
sunsets, and sunrises? So it's just, use your time wisely and value those relationships with people who matter the most. So
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer of that for sure.
Talk about your educator philosophy. So what is you have a catchphrase, key philosophy, or whatever you think that is. Just
You know,
spit that.
um, I think my philosophy it evolves, like I said, but
Hmm.
I think the grassroots of it all is provide a safe space, provide the educational tools so that that child can flourish. Sit back and watch them flourish. They
Yeah.
will. They truly will. If you give them those parameters that they need, you give them that safety to be able to be creative and be able to grow, they will flourish. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just like with a garden. We all know if you nurture
Right.
your garden, if you water your garden, if you cultivate it, it's gonna grow. Your classroom is your garden. So you have to make sure that you take care of that garden. So you may
Okay.
get a weed straggle up in there. But
Listen.
you have that's kind of my philosophy is just watch them flourish. They will grow. These kids are so amazing. I don't think sometimes they even realize all of their capabilities, and just living in this world today with so many advances, so many opportunities. I was even talking to them, I said, they make it pretty easy for you. I said they give you you have all this technology, you have your own personal device that you didn't even have to pay for.
Hmm.
So everything that you need is right here and accessible to you. Utilize it so that you can flourish. So I firmly believe that. So I do my part as much as I can to, sprinkle some water over my little garden and add some seeds and cultivate it so that they can become amazing citizens because that's what we
Yeah.
want them to be.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Talk about your area of curriculum now. I see you've done a multitude of things in education, right? Mostly all under the umbrella of language arts and things of that nature, whatnot. So you can talk about that, talk about, whatever area you want to talk about, whatever specific discipline you want to talk about.
Listen, I don't think it's much under that umbrella that I have not taught. From I even had to think when I saw that, I said, let me even think about from, of course, ELA, um, 7 through 12, as far as SAT prep at one, ACT and ACT, SAT and SAT prep, drama, taught drama. Can you believe me?
Yeah,
Dramatic.
no, 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 no. Listen, to be honest with you, we can talk a little bit later on. I've done a little poetry stuff and
Okay,
talk
okay.
drama, we can talk about that too, but talk
We
about that
can
drama
snap.
for a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Talk about that
Um,
drama for a little bit.
for the most dramatic person, extra, yeah. That I love teaching drama.
Mm,
And it's funny, like I said, just reminiscing. A young man who was in my classroom, who is now the owner of his own spice company. It's called the Spice King. So
okay.
if you have not, if you get a chance, check him out. He's a brother.
Okay, Spice
It's
King.
called the
I gotta check
Spice
it out.
King.
I heard that. Write
He's
this down, people. Spice King.
Spice King. He has the most amazing combination of spices that have that Caribbean flavor as well as
Mm,
that. Listen, it's some nice. He was in my drama class
nice.
and had the opportunity to talk to him, and he was on oh God, guys grocery games and like with his, because he's a cook, a chef, and not a cook but a chef, but he was in my drama class.
Wow.
And I remember talking to him, we were talking about him doing something in the classroom, and it was just, he was always fascinating and fun and engaging. And these videos that he has for his spice are over the top. And we
Wow.
laughed recently because I was like, okay, you learned this in my class. And he was like, I appreciate you and everything you did as a well, as my teacher. But like I said, drama was great because it truly gave me the opportunity to allow my students to be creative and also for me to think outside the box with
That's the
with the
part.
different things that I had them doing.
Yeah.
So I loved teaching drama. Now, the arts is hard. You know what I'm saying? They have pulled it out of a lot of schools. And sometimes the drama teacher is, doing two things. They may be teaching at one school and another, the same thing with the chorus and, things like that.
Hmm.
Um, because of obviously the monies and funding. However, drama was great. Like I said, it was a release in college. I would dabble around, doing different things with the little theater at our group in college and
Okay.
participating in things. So I always thought I was going to be Oprah. That's what
It's
I
not
thought.
too late. Listen, we can take this, send it to her. Like, listen. You got Mama Keisha right here. Put her on the show. Let her do her thing. You know
Yeah,
what I
so
mean?
I thought that was, I was thinking I was gonna be over, but like you said, you never know. But
You never know.
I that I've that creativity, given the opportunity to be creative, or giving students, some guidelines and then letting them expand on that to create their own, skits or whatever we were doing in class. That to me was everything. Putting on productions. I'll never forget one of our classes, they had like a lip sync competition
Okay.
as a fundraiser. I mean, it was the bomb. Everybody would want to be in the competition because they were thinking about, who they were going to emulate or what have you. And that was before LL did his little TV show. I mean,
Okay.
I was doing it at the school, at Flanagan
Okay.
High School.
Okay.
So, it was just like I said, it was truly gave me the opportunity to be expressive and to see the kids do it. And we would record everything. And this is, I'm talking about some VHSs, okay? I'm
Okay.
da- I'm dating myself,
Okay.
but
It's all good. It's all good. I got some in the back right here. Some
see
VHS
that.
still. I
So
still
you
got them.
already know.
Absolutely.
So that was a great time for me, definitely. Journalism, I've taught that. I was a yearbook advisor at a school. came in brand new. They were like, "Hey, we need a yearbook advisor." Okay, I'll do it. This was before yearbooks were digital,
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
everything was online. This when you had the
Hmm.
whole 3-ply paper where you had to get out your protractor and you had to draw and actually make your layouts and put the pictures in and type up all the
Wow.
caption.
Wow.
And our yearbook was like 300 and something pages. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a labor of love. I can tell you that because, of course,
Okay.
people found every mistake, and you're like, listen, we did our personal best with 368 pages. So just give us a little grace, please. But taught that, love journalism, great. Like I said, still in contact with some of those kids who were in that class. And it was such a colossal task, but yet I only had maybe like 8 kids in the class. So it was work. It was work. Working with adult education, that was great. In South Florida to immigrants who had just moved here or were trying to acquire the language. I think that's a teaching is rewarding as it is. It truly is. It has its rewards. Now, they don't pay us like they should, but
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
rewards are priceless. But teaching adults who were so eager to come to class at night, and these were night classes,
Right.
so eager to come to class after they had, worked all day long, so eager to come to class to try to learn the English language, and so appreciative of you taking the time out to just teach them how to have some conversational English. That probably was truly that's top tier, one of the best things I ever did.
Nice. Would that be
Yeah.
considered like ESOL, even though it's secondary, even though it's
Yes,
adult? It's
yes,
considered
yes,
ESOL?
it
Okay.
is. It
Okay.
is. It is. So that was, like I said, super rewarding, like I said, just to see those. We would do little mock conversations, or I may have them do like a mock interview. So, what would you say when you're asked these questions? And like I said, conversational English, so that way they can,
Hmm.
navigate. Because you had people, especially in South Florida, particularly, you got people at home who do not speak any English, and they may be working in a workforce that requires them to use, some language in order to navigate. And especially if you want to, climb the ladder,
Right.
having to be, bilingual, so that was the ultimate goal. And I will say that's one of the things that I remember when the earthquake happened years ago in Haiti, the
Hmm.
horrible earthquake.
Hmm.
We had a large number of students that they sent to the United States to go to different schools or what have you. So we had a large surplus at my school. And I remember kids, coming in literally fresh, what I'm saying, from devastation and having to try to adjust, to a school system. And I would, tell them to embrace their language. You're talking about Esau, embrace
Right.
their language, embrace their culture. That's very important. You know what I'm saying? And we welcome you. We want you to be here. And I would love to do poetry. Like I said, the performance part. I would love to do poetry with them because their accents were beautiful, and they were so shy and so, almost embarrassed for people to hear the accents. And I'm like, that's the beauty of the piece. It's
Mm-hmm.
your voice, that
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, French accent, or that beautiful,
Mm.
accent from Venezuela or wherever. I'm like, embrace that. And so I know that's one of the things that I definitely tried to push. I would always have some type of performance piece in my classrooms, especially when I was teaching high school. There's something where they have to get up and speak. I feel like
Right.
that was so important because,
Right.
it's kind of hard now a little bit, that part, because, with so many in such a litigious society, the minute you put somebody, my kid didn't feel uncomfortable, and you embarrass them to death, then, now they're, shell shocked for the rest of their lives because you made them recite,
Right.
I Too Sing America, by Langston Hughes. You get a lot of kickback. So, you have to be very careful with that. But I mean, there are ways. I mean, may have them do a flip grid or something like that where they send it directly to you.
Hmm.
But I think it's important for kids to have that performance piece, because you are going to be interviewed by somebody one day.
Absolutely.
You know, you
Absolutely.
you're gonna more than likely, unless you're
Yeah.
independently wealthy and own your own business, but you're probably going to get an interview with somebody someday. So I think it's important that we try to, just chisel away at those walls and give them the opportunity to that performance piece. To me, is very important. So for me, for drama, journalism, like all of that, I was that was my lane. It's
Now,
my
quick
jam.
question. Now, quick question. I'm hearing some things in there. So, did you actually perform poetry as well? Are you spoken word artist by chance? Or you are?
Oh, I definitely. What?
I didn't know that. I'm learning things myself here. So,
Listen, I love poetry, and I had the luxury. My next door neighbor, at my high school where I was in South Florida, she was the poetry coach. She was the poetry jam teacher, what have
nice.
you. So
Okay, poetry jam. Okay,
oh
yeah,
yeah, they do it. And her group, I mean, they have even now they do poetry slams and they have gone and won things across the nation. She was next door to me. So I've always loved poetry. I will probably say Langston Hughes is my favorite poet. I mean, he's an author as well, but as far as a poet, I've always loved his his pieces. So they always spoke to me and resonated with me. But I'll dabble.
okay,
I
okay.
got a little book. I write
Okay,
some
I
stuff.
got a book too, so we can talk about that too as well. And also, April's coming up, so April coming up for National Poetry Month. Hey, I bring it back home. Maybe you can get some kids, you can spit some verses or whatever the case
Okay,
may be.
okay.
I got
Listen,
some old stuff. I got some
and
old
it's
stuff too.
hilarious because I'm literally teaching poetry right now.
Nice,
I am
nice.
teaching poetry right now, and we actually did the Ballad of Birmingham, and that was a wonderful conversation. It
Okay,
was a wonderful conversation. And anybody from Alabama, it is on our curriculum. I want nobody calling me to
it's on the curriculum.
it's
We don't
on the
want no
curriculum.
smoke. It's on the curriculum.
It's on the curriculum, RCD. I was able to have conversation and give them a little background on it
Okay,
before we got into the Ballad of Birmingham.
right.
But it was they really enjoyed it. And some of them were oblivious, you know what I mean, to 16th Street, bombing. Like, the part about, it wasn't safe for her to go, to the march, because of the dogs. And they're like, what dog? So it was a telling moment, you know what I'm saying, to have a conversation, to be, an honest conversation. This is what happened,
Right.
and it's very unfortunate that these little girls, lost their lives.
Yeah.
So we are in the middle of the poetry night right now. I had them write a couple of things. So we're going to be doing a couple other things with that. So I am definitely looking for it. I'm in my element now. So, and that's when you really I think that's when the layers come off, when
Hmm.
they get into a piece or a free verse or what
Yeah.
have you, and they get
100%.
to say what they want to say. And you giving just them the, perfect, corrections on how you can make this, work, or you can maybe add a little bit more, some more adjectives, some colorful words, and they're like, yeah, yeah. So they're getting into it. So I'm enjoying this. So that's where we are right now with my eighth grader. Yeah.
Shout out to everybody out there doing this work, especially in the area of literacy and language development. Poetry definitely is a tool to increase that and also build self-esteem. It's definitely
Mhm.
something that I definitely am a proponent of. Shout out to people like Joshua Bennett, Greg Corbin, Shyster. These are like, performing artists as also. I got to shout them
Mhm.
out because those are some of my favorite poets out there in the Philadelphia area and whatnot. So
That's
teaching
what's
artists
up.
and so on and so forth. So we'll talk some more about that later on. So the next thing I want to talk about though is yeah, you have a unique gift as a videographer, right? And at a high school football team in Alabama. Let me just freeze that there for a second. To all my fellow football guys out there and coaches and whatnot, I said, yo, this educator here, who's also a sister, who is a videographer of a top-notch high school football team in Alabama. And a lot of guys up here, for whatever reason, they like Alabama. I don't know about now with all these NIL and transfer portal stuff going on. I think it's gonna be different now, but nonetheless, still, a lot of guys who are really up here love Alabama. We've had a couple
Oh
of
yeah.
guys from this area that play down there in the NFL right now. But talk about that. How did you get into that? And I was a football coach, so I'm like, I never
Listen.
seen that. I never seen that before. How'd you get into that?
First of all, can I get a roll tide?
Okay, I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. Listen, you the guest. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you
And
that.
while I would like to say, and I know he's not watching, but somebody can tell him I said it. Congratulations, Coach Saban, on your retirement. He is the GOAT. I don't care what anybody says. The man is the GOAT, and he has produced some of the most elite players in the league, past and present, and given these young men the opportunity to create generational wealth.
Mm,
So at the end of the day, got to give him his flowers. That's all I can say.
okay.
Me and football. First of all, love of football started as a very young girl. Always, we would sit around and we would watch them Alabama games with my granddaddy, the whole family. So that was something that was just a part of the culture of my home. So I've always
Mm,
liked football, not even a question. Love football, watched it, and kind of a student of it. Not perfect, but just kind of a student. And then, years later, I have a child.
okay.
So,
Okay.
my son, of course, he was, grew all he knew was Roll Tide, even though he was living in South Florida. We were going to a couple of games,
Okay.
but all he knew was Roll Tide. So, of course, he wanted to play football. And when that opportunity came, I allowed him to start playing football around the age of 7. So here we are, 7, we are in the travel league. We're going from one end of Florida to the other on
Mm.
Saturdays. So there, and I'm a team mom. So with that,
No, you're a team mom? I could see that. 100%. 100%. Yeah,
I was
100%.
Oh yeah, I brought the good snacks, but but team mom, what I'm saying, helping and assisting in that regard, and you just start to learn more because you are involved in yours. I'm not on the sideline doing a million things, but I'm also in the game, just kind of studying, what's going on, and to just help him when we get home. What can we do to help you in your position? How can mom help you? Let's play around or what have you. So that was always kind of important. Then at the high school where I was teaching, there became an opportunity for me to coach. Just kind of came out the blue, was real close with one of the coaches, and he was like, they need a girls flag football coach.
Mm,
This. He was like, why don't you do it? And because I would type literally or had typed and helped organize his playbook.
wow.
Right, because he was defensive
Wow.
coordinator. So with that said, I had helped organize his playbook. So I'm seeing it incessantly because it's every day. Hey, fix that for me. Could you tweak that? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, what's this? What's that? So when the opportunity came, he was like, you need to definitely be the girls football coach, flag football coach. And I was like, you know, and got approached by the athletic director that was like, hey, it's no big deal. They kind of shrugged it off. You know what I mean? Like, no biggie. You should do it. And I was like, okay. I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I got this. So went to my friend and I was like, okay, I'm gonna need your help. And he was like, no, you got this. You know how we do it or what have you, practice or whatever. You know what you need to do. I was like, okay. And I'm one of those people, Damon, where if I don't know something, I'm going to go and find out. I'm going to do the
Well,
research on it. I'm like, what do I need to do? What are the best exercises for them to be doing? And what should we be doing in flag football and all of this stuff? I was a student. Okay. And then when it came time for us to play, I was like, okay, let's do this. And I was like, are you going to help me? He said, no, you're an island. This is my friend now. You're an island. You got this. You can handle it by yourself. What? Went out there and won every game.
wow.
Undefeated. My quarterback, and I wish she was looking at this right now, Diana Velez. She was a beast. We beat everybody. And I was the coach in heels because I had my high heel shoes on because that's just how I do.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm a girly tomboy, so I'm out there
Okay.
like,
Okay.
listen, I'm gonna be cute, I'm gonna do this, and I'm a coach. And let me tell you, and I'm gonna get to how the high school, forgive me,
Okay.
but
No, do your thing. Do it.
um, I was, and it was so crazy because you had other coaches who were gentlemen who were head coaches and all kind of stuff at their schools who were coaching the girls flag football team. However, nobody had prepared. They looked at it, I think, more or less kind of like a little stipend or what have you. We just
Yeah.
gonna play some sandlot football and we just gonna get out here. We not gonna practice. We just gonna go and just have some fun. Not this girl. At that point, I was at one point, the only female varsity head coach in South Florida.
Wow.
I'm not taking this lightly. We practice, we run plays, we are going to be prepared
It's
because
beautiful.
if I fail, it's just like, oh, the little, frilly
Yeah.
girl over there, she just out here, what have you. No, 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 no. We come to play. We are not, we're leaving nothing. Everything is gonna be left on the field. We are coming to play. So I will honestly say, and they can all thank me, I upped their game because they weren't coaching. And then they saw a girl was beating them, then everybody started trying to coach. I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Good
you're
for you.
welcome.
That's
But I'm
right.
just
That's
saying
right.
that's how it started. So with that said, my love of football was always there. Moved here and like I said, started doing middle school. We did not have a flag football team, and we don't, not for the middle school. They do have one in the high school that came in maybe like 2, 3 years ago. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is a boys' club. I'm just being honest, and it takes a little bit for you to be able to kind of get in there. My son, when he moved up here, he played football his eighth grade year. He was like, I'm kind of done with it. I'm into my engineering and robotics, and I'll do track. I'm just not interested in doing it, which is shocking. And so I didn't push him. I'm like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Do your work, get academically. You'll get a scholarship using your brain. Not saying nothing wrong with getting it the other way, but I'm
Hmm.
just saying you can do this and it's safer. So that's fine. And so he was with the high school's television production television production team. And let me just say, Thompson High School, where I film, Thompson High School's nickname is Thompson University. Just want to put that
Mm.
out there. The
Okay.
school was like $97 million. It has
Wow.
everything you can imagine. It looks better than many college campuses that I have been to. They definitely did not spare a dime when they built that school. It is phenomenal to see it, to pull up on the landscape, drive about a quarter of a mile around to get to the rotunda. Like, it is phenomenal. Prime time actually came up here last year, the year before, into like the gymnasium, into the athletic facility to train in. He was like, this is next level for a high school. So,
Wow.
like I said, my son was filming. I kind of got him on so that he was filming it first he was in high school, but filming for the middle school, filming their games. So I got him to kind of do that little gig to do that. They was like, hey, can he come and do that? Sure. And then I was doing the content for our middle school's social media, our Instagram, and teaching TV production. And so a gentleman, Mr. Pratt, who's now retired, they were saying something about they needed another person to do videography at the high school, for practices or what have you. Somebody brought up my name. It was like, Miss McAlpine, she does the social media plays for the school and both. She teaches TV production. And he was asking me too to help him with some things. And he was like, well, why don't you come and film? And I was like, okay. And they were like, we'll pay you. Even better.
Right.
So and that is how it started. So and you know what? I hate and I'm not going to get up out of this seat, but when we won, first of all, Thompson High School has been to the 7A state championship for 6 years in a row. Six
Mm.
years in a row. And they won 4 of the 6. Okay.
Wow.
So that's just telling you what kind of powerhouse it is. I got my hardware last year. My ring is massive.
Wow.
So I was pretty excited. They were like, we got your ring, and they delivered it to the school and everything. And I had a kid to go up and pick it up, and they were like, oh my God, what is this heavy? What is it? And I opened it up and they were like, oh. So
Wow.
it was pretty cool, but I love doing it. Coach Freeman is amazing. Obviously, going to state championship 6 years in a row and getting second place only twice. It is phenomenal. The entire program, like I said, is first class. It's very professional. We have a schedule when we get there. We know what we're going to do. It's laid out. It is a wonderful job. And like I said, I usually take care of defensive coordinators filming as well as like special teams, and they're particular. So I have to make sure I get in there, I get it right. So as the only female on the contract, it's right. It's tight and right. So no complaints.
So it's a team of you. It's a team of videographers doing different aspects, different
There's
angles.
a gentleman who does the OC. He's usually talking all the time, so he miss a lot.
Okay.
He missed he missed a lot of he missed a lot of plays. That's my boy though. But yeah, they have people, we have a drone. So we have the gentleman who runs the drone.
Okay.
I'm learning how to do the drone because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's
So
the big level, next level stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have the gentleman who does the drone. We have a person, one camera who's doing defense, special teams, one camera who's doing offense, and then another camera in the end zone. So it is a whole production for Thompson High School
Wow.
practice. I don't even know I should be saying it out loud.
Listen, shout out to anybody out there doing that kind of work, especially, I'm so envious sometimes of what I hear about stuff down south. I started playing football years ago in Atlanta, many, many years ago, but
Uh-huh.
it's definitely a different thing. Up north is starting to catch up, you know what I mean? But down south, it's like it's religion.
Oh,
It's religion.
it is.
It's religion. It's literally religion down south.
It's they take it very seriously. I do believe that if you were born in the state of Alabama at birth, you have to pick a side, either War Eagle or Roll Tide. I
That's
really,
right. Right, right,
I
right.
think that happens at birth, but they take football very, very seriously here,
Mm.
to the point where it's almost cult-like, but they take it serious. So, like I said, being able to be a part of that type of program,
Hmm.
it is an honor. You know what I'm saying? It truly is an honor, and I don't mind. So, spring practice will be here before you know it. So, every now and again, you see me in a picture. I'm in the booth. That's where I am in there. I'm in there working.
And spring practice there is with equipment on, pads on, yes?
Yes, sometimes
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
nice.
Sometimes yes. Yeah.
I recall those state championships years ago. It was a team on TV, Hoover. So
Oh,
are they still a thing now, Hoover?
Hoover just got a brand new coach. Thompson
Okay,
lost a game this year, one. Well, two. Well, they came up in second place at the state championship this year, but the first game they lost to was on ESPN, and it was against Clay Chalkful.
okay.
And Clay, football coach just left Clay, and he just got hired at Hoover.
At Hoover.
So it should be very interesting next year what that looks like, because
Okay.
he's a great coach, So he just got picked up at Hoover. They did a whole announcement and everything on TV. Like he said, football is a religion and it's very serious. So
Mm-hmm.
he just got picked up. So we're gonna see what happens. I think Thompson will, obviously they are competitive. I think that Hoover is trying to get back in the race for sure.
Okay.
With this hire, it's a good hire for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
For
awesome. That's that man. Like I
yeah.
said, when I saw you doing your thing, I said, "Wait a minute, what's up with that?" I said, "Got to get it on here." Once football season is over with, now I got you here. So thank you for sharing all that information. People out there, you're hearing this. You got this black woman joy. This magic out here doing the thing in all these different areas. Whatnot. All the educators out there and aspiring young ladies, and you see this. These are our role models right here, right? These role models they should be
Oh,
looking at people like Mama Kecia for sure,
I
100%.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. But like I said, that filming, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, you get the opportunity. It's so many different jobs. And
Hmm.
in a sports, as far as a sports dynasty or sports complex, there's a lot of things to do. And so
Hmm.
just seeing more women, with the camera and getting out there, it's a great. So I definitely enjoy it immensely. So I will keep working with them as long as they have me.
Okay. And if they keep you as long as you want to be there, that too. Even after you retire, whatever that looks like, keep on doing that. That'd be your hustle right there. So, what,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
what brings you the most joy professionally and also personally, if you'd like to share?
Phew, wow, that's hard. What brings me the now you every question you ask me has been pretty simple, but what brings me the most joy? I mean, I guess most importantly, a motherhood is unmatched.
Mm,
Being, he's just turned 20, so I
wow.
got a little man now. So but motherhood has brought me the most joy and
Okay.
seeing my son's growth. And just seeing him turn into, a young man and a responsible young man. I think that definitely is really high on my list of what I'm so proud of him, you know what I'm saying? And I always just try to be as encouraging as possible. I know he is a physics major, applied physics engineering, dual degree major. So the rigor
Mm.
is tough. You know what I
Whew.
mean? I know, right? Ooh, yeah, I'm like, come this way to the English side. But but he has a tough, the rigor is tough, but I just always want to be so encouraging and just letting him know how proud I am. You know what I'm saying? That you didn't shriek away. You know what I mean? You were like, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to be an architect one day. This is the path that I'm taking, and I'm not gonna quit. And so just like I said, just proud of his growth and just stepping into manhood. It's tough, but I'm like, but you got this. So I think that definitely brings me a great amount of joy. And also just the service recently, just being committed to serve, just being committed to fitting in where I can to help whoever I can. Briefly, I did lose my fiance
Yeah,
in
my
2022.
condolences on that. Yeah.
Thank you to prostate cancer. And we know
Mm.
cancer is just the nastiest, most awful disease. And to just see a person, be reduced to a shell of a person as a result of such a nasty disease. And so that I learned so much from it. And it's kind of one of those things where, of course you grieve, no question, but it was just like you start once you get through that process. What did I learn from this? What did I take from this? How did I grow from this? So when I start putting it in that perspective as opposed to the negative, it
Hmm.
just changed, my mindset, like you have to live every day. You have to live every day. You have to enjoy every moment, the good and the bad, but you have to live every day. You decide how your day is going to go when you get up in the morning. You make that decision. If it's going to be a bad day, you get, oh God, well, you start with that. That's how the day is going to
So it's
be.
going to be.
So
Yeah.
I try to get up with a little bit of more energy, had that conversation with my Heavenly Father. Thank you for allowing me the next day. Thank you for giving me this day. And how am I going to navigate this day? What am I going to do? How am I going to step into the day? And so I definitely try to leave with that type of energy, and I try to bring that type of energy because you set the pace. You make the decision on how that day is going to go. And you're going to get slapped with something. That's just
Yeah.
life. Some obstacles, some hurdles, somebody's going to say something out of the way, but how you respond and how you deal with it and how much you're going to allow someone to navigate your day. That I'm not going to do. I'm
Mm.
not going to give you that kind of power. So
Right.
I want to stay in a good place and a happy place. So that's where I am. And like I said, it took a while, what I'm saying? After that shock to my system, the year he passed, my son had just gone to college on August the 12th. He died on August the 30th. So you're grieving your child leaving, you know what I mean? My only child going to college and then dealing with that. But like I said, I do serve a mighty and powerful God. So I know that he was going to get me through this process. I was going to get through it and I was going to be stronger for it. And I feel better. I just feel good. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
feel good. I feel healthy. I lost like 32 pounds, went on a diet, just detox. I mean, just like there were things that was like, okay, stuff you need to do for yourself. You need to do it today
Right.
because tomorrow's not promised. So, yes.
100%. That's probably one of the most important things you've said all night. That part right there. 100%. 100%. Um, the mental health project, right? Can you talk about that a little bit? I mean, that's something
Yay!
we had a brief conversation about. If you can
Listen,
share.
I hope she is on this call right now on this webinar. Camellia Harris, she is the founder of the Just Us Foundation, which deals with Black men and mental health.
Hmm.
Just a phenomenal human. And my work with Morehouse is how I ended up meeting her and becoming acquainted with her. And I just look at her now like as a sister that I have gained. And she unfortunately lost her father to suicide in
Mm,
2019. A very healthy, handsome, strong Black man who looked, as we say, normal, who looked like everything was okay.
right.
But under those layers, sometimes we just don't know what people are dealing with. We don't know what type of trauma they are carrying or that they have not dealt with. And as a result of that, unfortunate situation, she created this foundation, the Justice Foundation. So I was fortunate enough to become aligned with her, and she takes this conference to city. Her goal is to reach as many Black men as she can, and
Mm,
not just Black men, women who love Black men, people who love Black men. The conference is just not open to men, of course, it's open to others. And with that said, I had the opportunity to fly to Houston to the one that she did there. It was absolutely phenomenal. And she will be doing one in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to happen on April 27, 2024, right here in my city.
okay.
And so I am so excited to be able to assist. You know, this is her foundation, but the fact that I just get to just have a small hand in it and assisting to make sure that it comes to our city. Our city has been plagued with a lot of things. We've had some, some violence, and things of that nature that are happening in our city. And with that said, I just find that you have people who are walking around dealing with this trauma, and they don't feel like they have a safe space to be able to truly deal with it.
Mm,
And what happens is we don't deal with it, you already know it manifests itself into something else. And sometimes it's something that's not great. And with that, she is coming here. She's going to Dayton, Ohio, I do believe, and which is where she's from.
okay.
They'll be celebrating an anniversary of where it started because that's where
Mhm.
she's from. And so Houston was on the agenda. I know Atlanta, Birmingham. So she has several cities on the agenda where she will be coming in with these powerhouse speakers, these amazing panelists from every genre in business. From she had people who were attorneys and models and athletes and military and servicemen. So she had
Mm,
all of these different and therapists and pastors. So she had all these different Black men at this panel, professional men who are saying, you know what, it's okay if you might need to go and see somebody. It's okay to get therapy. Of the minister there who was so profound saying, yes, pray for sure, pray, but you might need to still go and see somebody who can help you
right.
with through this process. So I am so excited to help her and assist in any way with this project. And again, it's going to be April 27th in Birmingham, Alabama, the Just Us Foundation, if you want to go online and look them up. And it's going to be in conjunction with Ramsey High School's Manhood Monday program that they have
Nice.
for Yes, that they have for their
Nice.
young men,
Okay.
who is run by Mr. Micah Kemp, who is an assistant principal at the high school, and he has Manhood Monday. So it's just going to be a perfect alignment to, put that together so that we can try to tell our young men at an early age, it's okay. We are, hyper masculinity. It can be a lot, you know what I mean? And you get it. Don't cry, don't this, shake it off, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes
Yeah, men don't cry,
so-
all that good stuff. Yeah, all that stuff.
it's crazy. And
You gotta get it
sometimes
out. You gotta get
what
it
you
out.
say, you got to get it out,
Gotta
because
get
if
it
you
out.
don't get it out, it will return in
Yeah,
another way. And so
100%.
it's important. So I am so excited to be a part of that. So I wear a lot of hats, but I don't mind.
I see you, mom. You're doing your thing. Shout out to everybody out there doing that kind of work. Shout out to my man, Dr. Trauma, brother up here named Kirk Counts. Dr. Kirk Counts, one of my frat brothers, comes of Dr. Trauma. He's doing some of that work right now, too. In fact, my shirt that I put on today, EQ over IQ equals a better you, which is
Mm,
actually my own brand. I mean, so I'll talk about that in a little bit, too, where I'm doing workshops on emotional intelligence, things of that nature, whatnot, because I believe that, I don't care how smart you are, right? In short, if you can't handle yourself or not deal with other people, it doesn't really make a bit of difference, right? And so the EQ, emotional quotient, is highly important as well. So you got mental health, emotional health, pretty much, intersect, but definitely critically important and whatnot. So I'm not gonna keep you all night. I'm here to have some class to go to or something like that
I
soon. But
listen.
I mean, because we can keep on going, but I do want to
Back,
ask you, I do want to
listen,
ask, listen,
back in school again.
right, right, back in school again, right?
As the student, got a paper due at 11:59 p.m. tonight, so
Oh,
I'm gonna get it
wow.
done.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Anything else that you would like to share?
I just want to just I start doing a little content creating for myself.
I see you
And
teaching Tuesdays, right?
yeah, Teachable Tuesday.
Teaching
So
on
in the
Tuesdays.
morning,
Yo, I'm checking them out. I'm like, okay, okay.
Teachable Tuesday. And like I said, nobody probably want to hear what I have to say per se, but I
I
appreciate
listen.
those.
I listen. I
And
listen.
it is truly, it is just, it's from my heart. It is
Right.
from my heart. And sometimes it'll be just something that caught my attention in the week. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just expand on that a little bit further. But Teachable Tuesday, it just a concept of we can always learn something. I'm always open. I love learning. I'm a life learner, and I feel like as an educator, that's something we just need to perpetuate. Life learners, like you can always learn something new. So, with that said, that is kind of where that came from, and it's so
Hmm.
funny. One of my students, former students, again, somebody who I talk to all the time. I don't know if
Okay.
Travis is on here, but if he is, hey Travis.
What's up,
But he was,
Travis?
I know Travis was like, I look forward to getting in the car in the morning to hear what you're gonna say. And when he said that to me, that was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I missed the first day of the year, the first Tuesday of the year. I was so sick. I got sick on New Year's Eve. I had been healthy, thank you God, for 365 days, and I got sick on 365. and and I had an ear infection. It was this crazy, but the second I was like, I'm here and I want to try to do it for the next weeks. I want to get on and just say a little something. Don't want to take up people time for too long. I'm big on that. Like, let's get in and out. They're only going to give me about 90 seconds and then
Right.
they're gonna be done with me. But
Right.
I just try to give a little nugget, a little gem. And like I said, it's never practiced, it's never rehearsed, it's straight off the top of the dome. And it's just, what I'm thinking of at that particular time. And so people are like, I like it. And I appreciate everybody who has listened. I appreciate everybody who said that they enjoyed listening. And my voice is not too aggravating, I guess. So
No, you're doing an
I
excellent job. When I saw that, I
I
said,
appreciate.
she has something there. Teachable Tuesdays. There you go.
Yeah, Travis told me, he said, you're gonna meet Oprah in the car. I said, well, you know what? It is.
There you
Yes.
go. Oprah in the
Yeah,
car, huh?
Oprah in the car. I'm just saying.
Well,
Oprah in the
listen,
car. I'm okay with that.
listen. Mama Kecia, Sister Kecia, I appreciate you taking out your time out of your day. We're not totally done all the way. I want to share a couple of things, but this here is all about spotlighting educators and spotlighting you and giving you your flowers. And you definitely have done a whole lot for the business, the passion, the culture, the mission of education and whatnot. And when I heard all the things you were doing, I said, I got to bring you on and you kicking off this year for me with Educator Spotlight. I want to give you your flowers and tell you, thank you for your service to our babies, all over the South and then all over the world because now the seeds are planted there and now they're moving throughout the country and whatnot. You said in New York, wherever else, so awesome for you and kudos to you and giving you your flowers for all the work you've done. And it's been this
I
for the
appreciate
past
it.
couple of years, for the past couple of years,
Just a few years.
just the past couple of years.
Just a couple. I thank you. Like I said, thank you so much for just giving me this opportunity. It's just amazing how God just aligns you with people. You know what I mean? Like we met through a group and then we ran into each other in Atlanta.
Right,
It's
right, right.
just like wow,
Let's get
how
it.
things happen. It's so good. And
Yeah,
I think everything happens in a divine fashion, exactly the way it's supposed to. And I don't question the Father. He just puts things in place and that's how it's supposed to be. So you just never know what could happen.
you
So
just never
I'm
know.
thankful. I'm thankful for the opportunity. I appreciate you for even spotlighting these teachers because that's so important. The job that we do, the job that so many do, and it's difficult these days. It's hard, and I just read about Houston Independent School District. This year they had like 600 teachers to
Mm,
resign. So for those, that's a lot. That's crazy, and it was double from what it was last
yeah.
year. So with that said, for those that are still in the trenches and doing it for these kids. These kids need us so desperately. They need us so desperately. I
Yeah,
mean, everybody think about the convenience and the tech and all the things that they have, but sometimes they just need a good old hug.
right.
Just a good old hug and a good old pat on the back.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just really, really quick, I wanted to drop this here in a little announcement for next month. So I partnered with my local chapter of the NAACP, to do a Black History series, starting in February, for the 4 Mondays in February,
That's what's
Africans
up.
before European oppression, overcoming chattel enslavement, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, and civil rights. From Black Power to Black Lives Matter, those would be the topics. So I just want to share that to the community out there. And
That's
I'll be
awesome.
reposting this, and because in school, we have to make sure we celebrate all cultures, but our culture definitely, there's a movement throughout the country, unfortunately, to try to not talk about it and to try to get rid of it, but it does exist. So here at Peace, we definitely want to make sure we share our culture. And so that's that flyer right there. And for those, yeah, other people that
I
want to
love
get,
that.
thank you so much. Those want to get in contact, with me, you can scan that QR code right there. It takes you right to my contact information as well as my webpage. And this shirt right here, again, EQ over IQ equals a better you is what I have on right now. It's not just merchandise, it's a message in the merchandise and whatnot. So,
Mhm.
definitely in order to deal with yourself and deal with other people, it's paramount. So just a little shameless plug right there with those two things. So I'll stop there and come back to you and say, listen, again, Sister Kecia, I appreciate you for coming on here tonight. And people out there in Zoom land, Facebook land, and YouTube land, wherever you may be, you have definitely met a gem. And
Oh,
this will be housed on my YouTube page, and you can share it. And anybody that missed it, please check it out because you've done a lot, and I appreciate you. All your students appreciate you. We all appreciate you, and thank you again for your service to our babies.
thank you so, so much. I appreciate you. And hopefully I'll see you soon. But if not, Black History, we don't just have a month, it's every day.
Oh, 100%. 365. Just hold on for 1 second. I'm gonna log us off and then I'll talk to you for 1 second.
Okay.
All right, everybody that's out there, thank you for coming out. God bless you and good night.
Okay.
Okay, I was removing all the attendees before we started talking again. So
Oh, don't worry. No
listen,
problem.
that was awesome and
Oh, I
amazing.
hope so. I hope I sounded educated.